Okay, so going into the treasure map against Kuzan slash Avalo Pizzaro, and this is quite a difficult treasure map. I don't have a lot of time for this one, so I am very glad that I had quite a few people on YouTube that I just kind of mashed up their teams and made them a teeny bit more accessible. And I do have the treasure map booster Garp. So if you are someone who did just pull Garp, but not Kobe or Kuzan, then these teams are going to be really nice for you for the final boss and intrusion. Otherwise, you can still use these mini boss teams. I'm using one mini boss team which I made myself, one that Toadskii made, and then two that another YouTuber made. I will leave everything in the description and in the pinned comment for all the credit. But let's get straight into the intrusion battle against Kuzan. Okay, so shout out to Stumps for this team. He did make a very similar team to this. I did change it a bit. I changed out the Psy free to play 5+ Luffy captain to the Bathhouse Luffy. And the reason for that is that they actually used Dory and Broggy in the video to get around special bind as well as enemy resilience and also giving a attack boost. Now, unfortunately, there's not really a lot of options to get around the resilience. So we are using Shinobu, who is really the only other option here. She does also have access to the Machina support, which was going to be attached to Dory and Broggy. Luckily, Shinobu also is the relevant class and type for Machino, and that support is required to get around the enemy's defense up on stage 2. The enemy will have 4 turns of that defense up, and the other 2 turns will get reduced with the support of Brook on your Sanji. Now, Sanji isn't very helpful on this team, I can't lie. He's just there for mainly the support. So there is definitely ways you can make it a bit more accessible. But since we don't have Dory and Broggy, we need to get around special bind somewhere else. So that's why we have Bathhouse Luffy there. And he still has the A support, which is great. We need a Luffy character as our captain. Unfortunately, we still have 1 turn of special bind, so we're going to stall 1 turn. Luckily, he just gives us Sailor Despair, nothing to run destroying or run ending. And then we can use Shinobu for the attack boost and the end of turn damage. And then we can also use Garp for the enemy damage reduction. He doesn't get around all turns of it, but we have Sengoku support on him, which will get around in the last turn. So, actually would recommend starting the fight in the strength form of Nami Karina, and you can also swap on this stage. But since I didn't, it doesn't really matter. It just helps with damage, giving you those nice G orbs, as well as a base attack boost for the 3 turns. You could also use Luffy here, but I don't think it's really necessary at this stage. So just get the enemy down to 1 HP, and then the end of turn damage will handle the rest of it. We do have damage or increased damage taken still, but it's really not a big problem. The enemy doesn't give us wave clear damage or death hit upon death, so we don't have to worry about that at all. We do get 13 turns of bind on the final stage. You do need the Soro ship to get around the 1 turn of bind, which means you do need mod of level 1 on the Tesoro ship or any other ship that it gets around 1 turn of bind. Ace will get around another 3 turns of it, the support on Luffy, Sockets another 3, and then Kobe handles the remaining 6 turns. We also have Nami and Karina in their Karina form. Make sure they are in the Karina form when you are using their special, and that'll get around the enemy's threshold, defense up, and our crew's attack down debuff. You can also use Kobe's superclass for superclass buff and also a full board of matching orbs. And later on, you can use Sanji for a chain boundary effect. And Luffy, as I said, you can also use Luffy on stage 2 when whatever you need damage on, just use it then. But overall, a very strong team, and also gives a great amount of points having Garp. So let's get into the first mini boss, but let's first see how much points we get from a regular intrusion. This is not a bonus map, so it's the 1.2x you get from the bird buff, and that's a pretty decent amount of points considering we only at nav 6. Okay, so on to the first mini boss, and this is against Avalo Pizzaro in his base form, and this is the one team that I made myself. And this is a very annoying mini boss because you can only deal 90% of the enemy's health in damage on the final stage because there is a damage limiter. The only way to get around this is to actually use a captain that cuts the enemy's HP before the preemptive strike, which enables the damage limiter. There are a few options. There's version 3 Blackbeard Interlegend, the dual one. You could also use V1 Kaido, either as a captain or using his special on the second stage. If you aren't using this team, I would recommend using Kaido on stage 2, because if you use him as a captain, he's very slow. But how this team works is, Crocodile is the best option in my opinion, because his captain ability only does the HP cut when you have above 70% HP. And you don't want to actually have the HP cut as a preemptive strike on stage 1 and 2 because it is very slow, especially with double captains. So having a 50% HP cut with the ship of Moby Dick is great to make sure that we don't have that preemptive strike. And then on the second stage, we use Lucci 6-star form. It must be 6-star form. His 6+ doesn't work. It will heal 20% HP, bringing us back up to 70% and allowing the preemptive strike to kill the enemies, or deal the 20% that we need to actually kill the enemy in one turn. Since we are using Moby Dick, we don't have any cooldown, so we have a lot of characters here for cooldown. 2 turns and wave clear from Zoro, and then 1 turn of crewmate ability cooldown from both Luffy and Gaban, totaling 4 turns from those units. On the final stage, you can use the special of Crocodile for a 1-turn attack boost and a 3-turn boundary. It activates very fast as well, and then use his super class for for some matching orbs on your crocodiles. They are going to be hitting like a truck. And then you can also use your Gear 5 Luffy special later on for an orb boost and buffing the attack boost, as well as making the beneficial effects of our Dex orbs on Crocodile 2.75x, which is even stronger than Wano orbs. So with all that, you can just hit a good on one of your characters and kill off Avalo Pizzaro. This team is very fast and very strong. It's only 2 turns, one special and 1 super class on the final stage, and then later on you can also use Luffy if you want more damage, and Luffy's special activates very fast as well. So I'm very happy with that team. It's very efficient, and it is a bit faster than using Kaido on stage 2 because it doesn't require you to use that special. The second team here is going to be against San Juan Wolf, and this team is provided thankfully by Shepo7. I will leave his channel and video in the description and pinned comment. 2 of my mini boss teams I am using from him, and he is a really good team builder. This team is really nice. It works very well. Junbei is a great unit for the final stage of this quest because we do have an enemy with a huge amount of damage reduction, and there is also going to be mini mobs that you are going to be needing to wave clear. So Junbei is great for doing all that. We are using the unevolved version of Momonosuke, Toki, and Hiyori because we are using their evolved version in another mini boss. Use them on stage 2 on your captains, and that's going to allow them to get insane damage on the final stage. We are using Versa to wave clear, which is my only criticism. I do think that using a wave clearer that actually is going to give you a buff as well as wave clear is a bit of a better option, but Vista is definitely a great option, being double special activation and one of the faster wave clearers. Then on the final stage here, we are using the support of a limited time rare recruit support character, Mihawk, to get around the enemy's defense up with a 100% defense down. And then we can also use the special of our Junbei to get around the enemy's damage reduction, give us a chain boundary effect, as well as wave clearing the mobs. Just have a good strike to start off the chain and then kill off San Juan Wolf. It's a very strong team and also fairly fast. So thank you to Shepo for this team. We are also using his team for the next mini boss against Shiryu. Oh, wait, no. Against Vasco Shot. So this team is also using Momonosuke, Toki, and Hiyori Legend. It's very strong. We are using the Manly Mytha Legend, Halloween Ace Legend, a great unit for basically every single treasure map. And once again, we are just using the Ho ship. I forgot to mention, but for my team that I made, you do need... okay, never mind. I was going to say you need a -2 cooldown ship, but I forgot we are using Moby Dick for that one. I'm very sick, so I'm just can't think straight. So yeah, you don't need any type of mod on Moby Dick for that team. I do have a level 10 Moby Dick, not even 12. So there's no requirements in that regard. But either way, I digress. This team, we can use the special of one of our aces on the first stage. The second stage, we can use our Momonosuke, Toki, and Hiyori Legend. We do have a full board of recovery orbs from the crewmate ability of our Bonnie. That is the only reason she is there. You could replace her with any of the other characters that do give matching orbs. You could also use the quick Brook rare recruit, which will make your captain's orbs count as 1-0 at the start of the quest, which is even better than this. You could also use your Luffy special later on for more damage, but for now, you really only need the chain lock from Kikinojo and Izo, and the attack and orb boost of 3.5x from your Toadskii legend. So overall, a great team. You do not need the expansion or level 1 break of your ace. Definitely not required. You might actually need one of those. Just thinking about it, you might need a -2 cooldown shop or expansion, just to make sure that your Toadskii is ready on the second stage. But this is the last team I am using for the mini bosses. This one is provided by Toadskii. Unfortunately, I don't think this is the best option. There's definitely a way to make it a bit more efficient, because as it is now, it is a 3 special and 1 support on the final stage, which is very slow, especially considering Nami's special is quite slow to activate as well. But there is a lot of ways to tweak it, but I'm just quite lazy and I don't have enough time to waste on that. So I'm just using it as it is. It is still very efficient regardless. We are using Hina as well as Frankie to get around the defense up on the final stage, the 10 turns of the debuff, or enemy buff, I mean. And Nami is going to get around the 10 turns of paralysis with her captain ability and remove the enemy's damage reduction. 6 tons of paralysis. And then stun is going to be, you're going to get around stun with the support of pudding on your Sanji. That's the only reason Sanji's there. Any Sanji would work. And then you can use your Nami special. As you can see, it is quite slow, but it's not too bad. I've definitely seen slower. And then you can also use the special of your Hina and of your Frankie. I actually would use another Sanji, because as you can see there, his crewmate ability does waste a bit of time. So I would rather use any other Sanji character, just speed-wise. But as I said, there's a lot of ways you can tweak this team. Mainly, you can actually just use a support to get around 1 turn of damage reduction. And then you don't even have to use Nami's special. So that would speed up the team quite a bit. You would lose a bit of damage, but not the end of the world. Let's get into the final boss against Avalo Pizzaro with his Devil Fruit. This is once again a team provided by Stumps, and this one I don't think I changed at all. Well, I did make one small change. In Stumps' video, he does use the Metal Exchange VV Legend, but I don't unfortunately have the support of Omigumo, I think that's his name is, on my Kuzan. So unfortunately, I do have to improvise and use another support or another character instead of Vivi, so that I can actually get around all the turns of Despair. So Onigumo is a support that gets around Despair. I think he's a very limited time support character, which is why most people don't have him. So this is another option. He suggested that you can use your Cypher to play Robin, but she is only a 1.2x booster as opposed to the 1.25x from Ace, so I am rather using him with the support of Quickbeard for 3 turns of Despair reduction. On stage 2, I also forgot to mention about Beppo's dead weight besides the support he has for attack down reduction. So you can use any other character that has a attack down reducing support, or who has attack down reduction in this special. We are hitting through the bad orbs, unfortunately, but it's not the end of the world. You can also use Luffy here for an attack boost. So just start off the chain, and you can kill off with Sulong Beppo very easily, even though we do have block orbs. If you are using a Robin, it does get around the block orbs, so if you don't have Ace or you don't have Quickbeard support, definitely use Robin. You don't need any support. She gets around everything. So overall, great team. And then on the final stage here, we have an attack down of 9 turns, a 4-turn Despair. Luffy does get around 3 turns. It actually was 10 turns initially, but Luffy gets around 3, and the Sockers get around another 3. And then Quickbeard and the other support gets around all the remaining turns. So we do have the support of Thingy getting around attack down on Beppo, and then we have Garp getting around the remaining turns. Kobe is great here, getting around the block orbs with his superclass and the enemy damage nullification with his special. If you don't have Kobe friend captain, which I don't know why you wouldn't, you could also use the Cypher to play Sanji to get around the damage nullification. But that's it for this team. Very easy and very fast. Definitely is ways to make these teams a bit faster. But for now, I'm very happy with this. As long as I can get to my 10 million as fast as possible, then I am happy. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you do have a decent ping, then you could probably get a 10-minute run with these teams. But with all that being said, make sure to like and subscribe, and ask in the comments if you need replacements. I probably won't respond because I'm very busy with exams right now, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, and I'm out.